right, y'all. I'm gonna allow Tammy and Mercedes to just walk in as I continue.
Okay.
But we're about to start because we got Eric for a very, very key, dire amount of time.
Okay.
And as I've been preaching, and as I'm big on relationships, if you leverage the knowledge off a personal relationship from an expert buyer in your local market as a wholesaler, your career will be propelled, unlike the competition, okay? The competition, they do not want to make relationships with the expert buyers. They only think about the money. And as money is important, but it's not the main thing to focus on in your business. So one of the things in my program, what I like to do is bring my buyers to class so they can give you guys some insight and some knowledge in this field. They can help propel you guys to be successful. And today I got my friend Eric Hobbs. He's here. He's a personal friend of mine, and he's a buyer in the local market. He's a real estate investor. I want you guys to listen to him, listen to the things he's going to say, and most importantly, I want you to develop a relationship with Eric. All right? Come on.
Oh, cool, man. Thank you. Thank you, Rico.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, first I'll thank Rico Smith, man, for having me out. I don't get all the time, a lot of time to get out here and meet a bunch of people because honestly, we're very busy in the business that we do. So just to tell you guys a little bit about me, and then I'm also tell you guys a little bit about the history of the company that I work for currently. So I'm a real estate investor. I've been a real estate investor for about 14 years. I've invested in the local market. I started off being a mortgage broker when I first got into the business. Went from mortgage brokering to actually buying houses, flipping houses, and getting to the whole wholesaling thing and all that good stuff. So I did that like a very long time ago. Hey, no, I'm good. And so, as I got into the business, obviously, it's a struggle, getting into the business. The biggest thing is, having the capital to get into the business. This is the reason why most people wholesale. Wholesaling is a very easy way to get into this business and make a ton of money doing it. Most of all the big guys that do this, they started off, wholesaling, real estate. They didn't start off, flipping houses, turnkeying, or, whatever the case may be. These guys started off wholesaling real estate. So this is the ground level. This is the foundation, of your business. And so obviously in that business had a lot of struggles, a lot of ups and downs, trying to, make it to like the next level in the business. So I was very fortunate. I was able to hook up with one of the largest, turnkey providers in the city. And let me just explain what turnkey is, if anybody in the room doesn't know. And so we basically buy real estate. We fix it up and then we resell it to other investors. And then we manage those properties for those investors. We put tenants in them. So we manage like the whole portfolio for that investor. And so we flip, in layman terms, we flip real estate, we flip houses, So we flip anywhere between 300 to 350 houses per year, currently, in the Memphis market. And so obviously, that takes a long time to get to a position like that. So obviously we've been in business for quite some time. Been in business a little bit over 40 years. So we've been able to build the relationships that we needed to build. We Buy Houses is a brand that we actually purchased, the franchise here in Memphis, here in the Memphis market. Obviously, marketing purposes, to get more leads, to be able to reach out to people as yourself and kind of build relationships where we can buy more houses. Our goal in the next year is to buy, 500, to double what we're doing now, to buy about 550 houses here in the Memphis market. And obviously, we're at a certain point and we're maxed out what we're doing today. We're working on 30, 40 rehabs at a time. So obviously, we need help to be able to get to the goal of 550 houses. And we won't be able to get there without the help of wholesalers, without the help of realtors, without the help of other people in the local market that can help us, obviously purchase more homes. I'm sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Guys,
No, you go ahead.
you guys do commercial too?
Oh, so right. So well, you can kind of come on. So obviously, yes, we do. Actually, very interesting. We purchase all type of real estate. I was with my owner the other day, and we were going around looking at properties, and I said, man, what are we looking for? What do I need to have my eye open for out here, in the streets and real estate wise? And his words, man, we want to buy everything. We're looking to buy everything. We're actually currently building about 40 houses in the Memphis area. So we want vacant lots. I'm looking to get a strong presence in the North Mississippi area. North Mississippi is a area. North Mississippi, yeah. So that's an area that we've kind of not tapped into. I look at a bunch of houses up there. I'm currently learning the market up there, but in that market, we're actually building about, I guess it was in Walls, so we're building about 15 houses in Walls, and then we've built a bunch of them in Southeast Memphis. So we're looking for lots that's going to probably produce what I always like to call about $100 a square foot. And so obviously we don't want lots in certain areas that won't produce those type of sales. The sales that will produce those type of sales would be areas like Dover, Bartlett, where houses will sell for about $100 a square foot. So we're actually looking for commercial properties as well. We'll buy buildings. We'll buy commercial lots. I mean, we were actually just made an offer to buy a commercial brokerage. So we're actually buying another brokerage. So we're actually really big on apartments. I don't know if you guys ever ran across a deal where it's kind of like a multifamily unit, anything like that. We just sold a 56 multifamily unit, and then we're actually selling another 33 multifamily unit now. And so we really want to jump into this because people don't really look at, I guess, apartments and commercial stuff as much, but it's a lot of it's a lot of money there. If you guys were to reach out into these markets and kind of get out to thinking outside of the box. Everybody's trying to do single family homes and things of that nature. But vacant lots and commercial properties, I mean, it's money there. I had guys just testimonial wise who have did wholesale deals or commercial lot and made over $40,000 or $50,000 in one transaction. Yeah, wholesale and real estate, and it's all, commercial, but obviously commercial numbers are much higher, and this is not typical, but if you get out there and you hit the streets, a deal like that can fall in your laps. And so we're looking for just about anything. Now, obviously, I don't want to buy properties too far north or too far south. And if you guys are from Memphis, you probably understand exactly what I'm saying. I don't want stuff, right. So you totally understand, where I come from, and it's not, and a lot of it is the areas that it's high theft areas that we want to stay away from. We have a level of customer service that we have to provide for our investors, and so we don't want to put our investors in certain areas. So we don't want to invest in these areas. But obviously we have zip codes that we target, and we have, I think it's about 20 zip codes in the Memphis area. I have Tiffany Lee, she's coming as well. She's going to bring you guys some documentation that's going to show like the zip codes I want to buy in. It actually has a repair sheet in it, kind of what I use when I go into a house and do an assessment. So I got some, I got some information for you as soon as she makes, she got kind of lost, but
so this is
We about to get this hook
I
up.
want you guys to see, the value of this building relationships and connecting yourself with the expert buyer.
That's right. And listen, in me giving you guys information, it doesn't hurt me at all, right? This is actually what helps me. If I can make you guys understand what I want to buy, then obviously I'm probably going to buy more properties because now you got your eyes open for, kind of what I'm looking for. And so it kind of benefits me a lot to kind of reach out to wholesalers and build those relationships. And like Rico said, relationships is actually actually the only way that you're going to probably be able to be successful in your business. At the end of the day, relationships and everything, I mean, a lot of stuff goes away, but relationships is probably the strongest foundation of most businesses. Used to work for another guy. He always used to say, "Hey man, how many lunches did you go on today? How many people did you talk to today? How many business cards did you give out today?" And what it really is just building those relationships, kind of planting those seeds. And if you don't get those relationships, I mean, obviously you'll never be able to, get to that next level. And so that's kind of a little bit about like our story, kind of what we're looking for, how we kind of got in the Memphis market. Our business is really large. Most people, we buy houses obviously as a company, but most people know us as Reedy and Company. You'll see our property management company who manages about 1,800 houses here in the Memphis area. And so, obviously we have a very large operation to be able to do what we do. But if I don't have wholesalers, and I'm always, every meeting that I go to, I'm always asked how many wholesalers are sending us stuff. How many wholesalers did we buy from this month? Or did we buy from this week? So I'm always continuously trying to build those relationships. I don't know, Rico.
Just touch up some more. Eric is a part of a huge buying network, guys, alongside with a major institutional investor. So when I say that Eric is in the top 3 buyers in the city of Memphis, okay? When you hear Reedy and Company, that's very, very big. So I want you guys to get excited about this and really use this as ammunition to go find some deals and make it happen. Now, Eric, I got a student such as Chelsea. She's done her direct mail. She's experienced hardships for firsthand that I did say, but she's not willing to give up. And I just wanted you to share some words of encouragement of the hardships that, real estate, everybody wants to get money. They think it's easy, but it's really not easy.
So obviously at the end of the day, when you get paid, everybody is all smiles. But this is a tough business. Although it's wholesaling, I always tell people, you can get into real estate, you see these commercials and they say, no money down, no credit, no way. And it's real. I mean, what he's selling you is a real thing. But it's not something that easy. I mean, it sounds good, as all the glamour is there, but this is a business that's going to take a lot of time. If you don't have money or credit, you're going to have time, and you're going to have to put the time in, and you're going to have to continuously do it, although you might not even be getting deals done. And let me just say this about direct mail. I listen to podcasts and stuff like this all over the country. I just got an opportunity. I visited Nashville, Tennessee to a conference. We buy houses. These are investors all over the country, that's buying real estate. And at this conference, it's funny, Memphis is actually you guys are in the perfect storm here. Memphis, out of, I think, over 3,000 cities, is like top 5, top 3 in a lot of cases when it comes to turnkey or wholesaling real estate. This is the top market, out of over 3,000 cities. I'm talking to guys all over the country, in California, from all over, and they like, man, Memphis, we actually have like the largest operation for what we do. Guys are coming to us for advice, here in the Memphis market. And so your opportunity is amazing here. But to go back to the podcast, what I was going to mention, the guy said that, obviously driving for dollars is something that's big that you can do marketing wise, and it's something free. And obviously you need to learn how to skip trace and things like that. But the podcast is funny. Across the country, direct mail is actually the #1 thing that guys are using. Of course, digital, and just to throw digital out there, digital is kind of the internet, online, texting, stuff like that. That's where everything is going. That's where you need to be actually headed. Because if you're not there, social media, those type of things, if you're not there, you're going to get left behind. So that's where all the major players are going. That's where everybody's going. But direct mail is one of the top things that guys use across the country. And everybody everybody kind of says the same thing, that you have to be consistent with it. So it's something that you have to continuously do. And it actually, we have done research, and you actually don't start really getting leads that actually produce anything. It's about 4 to 6 months into this thing. So the first couple of months, you really don't get a lot of, we get people that probably respond, and we might get a deal or two. But overall, we're not really getting leads until the 4th to 6th month. And so this is something that you have to continuously do if you want to be successful at it, right? Yeah. And that's just about everything in life. But if you want to be successful at it, you're going to have to continuously to do it direct mail wise.
Yep. That's it. All right, so I know you guys may have some concerns and questions that you want to ask Eric, that you've been thinking at home. Now is the time to do it. Now is the time. He's right here. If you want to ask him anything, go ahead. Anybody has some questions? I know you got some questions.
No, he answered my question about the commercial.
Okay.
So like, I was just wondering, like, if I run up on it, was it any good,
Right.
And he said he's gonna bring the zip codes.
Yeah, the zip code. Matter of fact, let me check. Let me check on the zip codes thing.
They want them zip codes.
Let me check on it. Shit.
Yeah. Come and see them. Got any questions, concerns?
I'm checking on that right now, actually.
Y'all want them zip codes, right? They ready to make some money.
Okay, you walking in now. Okay, cool. So she's bringing it now. So I do want to talk about one thing though, if you guys don't mind. And so the thing that I struggle with a lot of times with wholesalers is kind of analyzing the deal and understanding what is a deal. Because a lot of times we get out here, we hit the streets, we know people that want to sell houses, and we kind of look at it and we say, man, it's a deal. Zillow said it was worth X amount of dollars, and I know she wants this much. I know. So obviously, we're doing some research, right? And so I like to kind of put the wholesalers in my eyes a little bit, and what I look at when I'm looking at houses, so where to buy houses at. And to be honest with you, the reality of it is, it's really simple math. I'm not some guy that has some type of knowledge every single house I go into that I know this is what it is, but it really comes down to numbers. And so we typically have a formula that we use on every single house. We buy houses at about 70 cents on the dollar. And so obviously, simple math, $100,000 house, I'm going to buy that house at about $70,000 off top. Before I even go out there and look at it, before I even do anything to it, if I know it's worth this much, I need to be at least at that discount, right? And so obviously the thing that makes it different is the repairs. This is what makes it a little bit more difficult. Hey. So this is what makes it a little bit more difficult. And this is Tiffany Lee, guys. This was Tiffany. Come in. Come on in, Tiffany. They've been waiting on this stuff, Tiffany. They told me, man, they need this information.
He gave me $4.99.
And I did. It's my fault. It is. She was probably somewhere in Fraser, and I apologize because Tiffany's not from here, guys, and she just joined our team.
A month and 3 weeks.
Right. Right. So
sometimes it does not take you.
Sure. So I take full responsibility for that. Okay. So yeah, Tim, obviously you can hand those out. But I was just talking about, guys, what is a deal? So we obviously need to be about 70 cents on the dollar for any house that we purchase, minus whatever the repairs are going to normally cost. On the average, we spend about $22,000 per renovation. So that just gives you a number. So if you need to be at a number, most times we need to be about 50 cents on the dollar. Right? And so if you need to wholesale me real estate, then you need to wholesale me real estate somewhere between 30 to 40 cents on the dollar. And so it's very, very simple math. You get into a house, you look at it, and you say $100,000 house, I need to purchase it between $30,000 and $40,000, or I need to purchase it. So you need to cap off. Obviously, I would cap off somewhere between 40 and 45 cents on the dollar. I would if it was over that, I don't know if I would mess with it unless you had another strategy. Obviously, this is real estate, and it's a ton of strategies that you can use, in this business. But if you're looking to wholesale real estate, obviously to a guy like me, I need to be at a certain number, and I can't buy it if it's not at that number. And I have the luxury to say no, because I have so many people, sending us deals. So you need to find these, work these numbers out. Again, it's 70 cents on the dollar minus whatever the repairs are. If you get that down to a science, I promise you'll never have a problem wholesaling or moving a property. All my competitors, everybody in the city want to buy the property because you got it at the right price. And so that's something I'm really big with wholesalers that I deal with a lot. Guys send me a property that's way overpriced, and I kind of be like, man, I wonder why did he get it under contract though? And I always wondered, do they ever move it? Because obviously I can't buy it, but I think that's a challenge, for a lot of wholesalers, kind of understanding that.
It is. And so to go back on what Eric said, which is so important, they just sent him an outpriced house without making an initial contact to actually get with Eric, shake Eric's hand,
sure.
Maybe set up an appointment with Eric and say, hey Eric, I want to be a successful wholesaler. How do you guys analyze these properties a little bit more better? Even though he's here, what I say, you leave class, you're going to forget 50% of what he just said.
Sure.
I'm bringing him here so you guys can cultivate a real relationship.
Sure.
Period, point blank. I promise you guys are going to be successful if you do that.
Right. And I added a repair sheet in there, guys. The repair sheet in the folder is very helpful. It's something that I use. It's like my Bible in the field. When I need to know what repairs are. It has a lot of information on it, square footage, numbers, what you need to be doing stuff at. If you kind of look at this, it'll give you a kind of ideal of where you need to be at with a lot of your repairs. Obviously, I've been in the business for a long time, and repairs are come a little easier to me because I've probably renovated thousands of houses in the Memphis area, and so. Obviously you need to, that's going to come with time, kind of understanding what the repairs are. But this sheet should help. It should be, like a good starting point for
Awesome.
sure.
Man, I really appreciate that, Eric. Thank you so much, man, for helping us out.
And I want to introduce, guys, I want to introduce Tiffany Lee. Tiffany is an extreme important part of our business. Obviously we get a ton of leads in every single month. And Tiffany kind of manages all those leads for us, for me actually, just all for me.
I control his schedule.
Yeah, there you go. But obviously,
listen, I'm the one that when you call in and you got all these questions, you talk to me first.
Right.
So
right.
it's pretty easy. He's kind of like the field guy, the one that's just gonna send out. He gonna actually check the house out. He's gonna give you the price of what we would actually want to pay for the house. But beforehand, I'm the one getting all the details: how many bedrooms, how many baths, what's the condition of the roof. Like just the minor things, because you might think your house is worth $100,000. When Eric comes in, Eric might be like, "No, this house is worth $40,000."
That's right.
So now we have to figure out. I'm that middle person to kind of smooth it over. Like, well, it's not really. We have this, that, and the third that we have to remember that we got to take in. Nobody ever thinks that their house needs home improvements until you get somebody that's not in your house. It's kind of like reading the paper. You know how you got to proofread the paper? They say, have somebody else do it, so that they can see your errors. Eric is the somebody else. So it's when it comes into that, when you call and talk to me, you might tell me, yeah, I don't want to go past $45,000. I'm selling this house, but your house is the neighborhood's not in a good area. That's all taken in consideration. What area your house is in. If the roof has a small crack normally tends to big cracks. It's just not gonna crack in the little spot. So it's little things like that I gather all these little details. So when he goes out, he knows exactly what is in front of him so we can get you guys a good price. Now, a lot of people think that, oh, you're gonna sell my house, you want to buy my house for undercut. It's not that. It's if we're gonna flip your house. So when we buying it, we're not just buying it to just hold on to it. We're gonna completely turn. It might be a dungeon. and we're gonna turn it into this mansion to sell it. So
Right.
we gotta look at it like that. So if we're buying it from you from 45,000, we're probably putting in a good 20 to 30,000 into the house. So that's right there at 70,000. So if you're already selling your house at 70,000, now we have to realize, like, is this a house that's we're gonna be able to sell for over $100,000 because we want to make a profit too. And a lot of times people call in, they don't think we got to make money off the deal as well. We want to make it a relationship where both parties win on both
Nah,
ends.
I tell them I want to make money now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in it to make money.
And that's what I tell people. I'm like, if we cut this deal, we're not gonna make anything. And I like to get paid. I don't know about y'all, but I don't just live off of just air walking the earth.
Right.
So it's just a lot of stuff like that. We do have an open house getting ready to come up. You guys are more than welcome to come. It's from 5 to 7. Just pop in.
No, go ahead, go ahead. Too. I was the open house. Great that you mentioned the open house. It's in the folder. With this open house, guys, I would really appreciate it if everybody in the room could come. This is something that you guys get the opportunity to meet other members on our team that are, this is big. This is big. These are people that are, even more experienced than myself in this business. And you guys get the opportunity to see kind of what our operation is, where our office is located at. So I invite you guys, like Tiffany just said, this is something that's major. You'll get an opportunity to present deals. If you do have deals, we're buyers. Actually, if you got deals right now, I'm here. You know what I mean? So, I'm looking at whatever I can look at, guys. Yeah, we buy houses, period. So if you got deals, I'm interested, obviously. So you can bring your deals to our meeting and it'll be, awesome.
And the guy for y'all that just walked in, that doesn't know, Eric works with the like I said, top 3 in the city of Memphis, Reedy and Company. This is a very, very major buyer in the city. So, I mean, they're actually buying in 7 to 14 days. They're not doing any bank financing. They don't wait 30 or 45 days to close.
Right.
They can close fast and convenient. So, it's a good thing.
Right. So we're very flexible. Obviously, we want to accommodate most people. And so we do close very fast. Typically it's a 7 to 14 day period. But we can close. We all cash. We can do it however you wanted us to. If it's a good deal, we'll get it closed. Period. Obviously we do title search and we do due diligence and stuff like that. So if anything like that comes back, obviously we don't close on it. But I promise you, if we do a contract on it, we're gonna close. Guaranteed. Go ahead.
So is there ever time y'all like not buying houses where y'all think y'all
Never.
So
Never. We would never not be, like I kind of mentioned in the beginning, not to cut you off, but how I kind of mentioned in the beginning, we want to get up to buying, 550 houses, I think in the next, what's that, like our 3-year plan?
Our 3-year plan.
It was over 520. So we want to, we have a very large goal. And like I said, I can't do it, what we're currently doing. I need wholesalers and I need other people. I need people on the ground to be able to do this. So obviously we don't plan on slowing down no time soon. We actually, thinking about getting into different markets. So yeah, we don't plan on slowing down anytime soon.
And refer people. Refer a friend. We have bonuses for that type of stuff as well. So, I mean, word of mouth is one of the strongest networking tools. So just imagine if birds of a feather flock together. My mom always used to tell me that. So it's like if you are a wholesaler, 9 times out of 10, it's somebody else in your crew that does the same thing that you're doing. That might not have reached out to us and have no idea that we're Reedy and Company. Like that's a major tool right there. Like, so we have different marketings that going on. Like we got investors. We get investors. Our next event is in May. We bring in investors all the way from California and stuff like that. So you got to think, you have houses here. These investors are looking to buy houses here, but live in California. That's a networking tool. So even in Memphis in May, you guys are, or Memphis in May, our marketing tool in May, you guys are involved in that. So once we get a good working relationship with you, you guys will start seeing invitations to these types of things, which that's more money. You should just start seeing dollar signs everywhere. Like, man, like they're giving it to us. So definitely, I would, if y'all can make it on this, it's on the 13th. 5 to 7. We're gonna have good food because we like to eat too.
Right. we will have
like that.
we will have food.
We all want to just be on the same page together.
Sure. So so obviously, guys, in the beginning, Rico said, We want to build relationships, you know, and you know, if I can build a relationship with each and every last one of you guys in the room, that'll be my goal. You know, that'll be awesome. Where we can buy more houses, where we can reach our goals, and then obviously we can help you reach your goals. So if any other questions you guys have, any other questions for us, or anything that you just, I mean, because I'm here, I'm right. I mean, I'm
right here.
I'm like, you know, I'm here.
Y'all go
So.
home, y'all call me and be like, Rico, he's right here. And you have the best of both worlds, a female as well.
Right.
Male and female in the business, that you guys can ask questions and they can help you all. You know, how was it in the beginning? What did you go through? Ask it. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm new. I've only been into this whole real estate thing a month and 3 weeks.
Yeah, about a month and 3 weeks.
And I promise you, the things that come out, you just be like, wow, like I didn't even know. It's so many behind the scenes things that take place that the average person wouldn't even know with wholesalers.
And I tell them how big our operation is, and
It is. We have
we
our Lowe's
we actually do have a Lowe's in the back of
in our back
warehouse.
That's how big.
Yeah, yeah. So pretty large operation for what we do. But yeah, guys, I mean, any questions for me, guys? You know, obviously you can call anytime. I think we have all our contact information inside the folder, so you can obviously contact us. But please, you know, I encourage you to come out on Monday, and you know, on the 13th, and kind of chill with us for a minute. And if you do have deals, man, I give you out to present them in front of, you know, buyers. And if we say we're gonna buy, I want to buy everything. You know, not everything, but I want to buy
Quality.
Let me just say everything. You know?
Not everything. What you got, man? What you got? You ain't sending me nothing. What you got?
That's right. All right. So any questions? I'm sorry.
I got 2 questions. So if you do buy a lot, is there like a minimum amount of acreage that you will purchase?
When you say acreage, when you're talking about lots,
like 1 acre, 2 acres.
right? And so obviously we don't want to buy. You know, I think most houses are built on like half an acre and stuff like that. Some of them are acres, and just kind of depending. And well, actually probably more than that on an acre. Probably way more than that when I think about how big an acre is. No, we don't want to buy. So we don't want stuff, for example, like in East Tennessee, where you might have something that sits on 5 acres and we have to build a house. And, you know, we're not looking for stuff. We're looking for stuff in subdivisions where you have houses that are selling for over $100 a square foot. And so those houses that sell for over $100 a square foot, we would take those lots and build, you know, brand new houses, generally between 1,300 to 1,700 square feet. So that's typically the type of house that we want to build. We don't want to get too much bigger than that, and we don't want to be too small than that. That's kind of like the range we want to be in.
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
Okay. And do you all buy houses where someone else has already like fully renovated the property?
Well, great question, right? And so I get a lot of people that I kind of go to houses, and obviously, because that's what I did in the business. I went out and I would renovate the house, and I would try to get another turnkey company to sell it for me. And obviously the problem with that is that the quality of the renovation, we have a client that we owe a certain right to. And so we have, for us to do that for you, your renovation has to be pretty tight. Like I said before, we spend over $22,000 on average on a renovation. And so, you know, if it's not up to par, then obviously, you know, your renovation might not, in my eyes, might not be the same. And so we want a certain quality. So it's kind of tough. You know, I think we've only did 1 or 2 deals like that ever. So that's just like a real tough one when it comes to trying to turnkey them, you know, like that. And, you know, but you definitely have to get your renovation game up to do that. Yeah, question.
So, is there anything as far as repair goes that you don't want to buy? Like, say for instance, kitchen may have a little burn in it.
I'm cool with that. I buy burnouts. I buy houses that trees fell on. You know, I buy it all. You know, I'm not really concerned about the work. I mean, we have a lot of in-house guys that can do that work, and we have a very large team, and the renovations are not difficult for us to manage. And so, yeah, I do burnouts all day. Yeah, absolutely.
That should be pretty cheap, huh?
What I purchased them for. Talking about what I purchased them for?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
price should be good.
The price is good
You will
most
be
times.
amazed at the people that I talk to, their houses be burned out. The house be burnt completely. Like, oh, the kitchen burnt up, the living room burnt up. What's your lowest price that you want to take? Oh, I'll take 45,000. Are you serious? You just told me that your house is destroyed.
Okay.
So I have to.
She shows.
So
I
I
just feel
literally
like
have
even
to-
if a house is like in a okay condition,
Sure.
you still have to flip it. Like, you know,
Right.
you have to update all the appliances and make it modern, you know?
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
already like, you know, a house that doesn't need a lot of work still needs a lot of work because it has to be up to par for people to want to buy it.
Sure, it does. That's right. And so that's what goes back to my point when I talk about the renovations. We put a lot into them. So if we have an AC unit that's on the fence, let's say let's call it 10 years old, 12 years old, we're going to replace it. It works though. I mean, it's blowing snowballs, but we're going to replace it. The roof is questionable. The roof is 10 to 12 year old. It's no leaks. I mean, it's good. You know, some guys will be like, don't replace it. We replace their roof, you know, because again, we hold a certain right to our owner. And what happens when that owner gets 5 years down the road and the roof leaks? And he says, well, guys, y'all was so stupid. Why didn't y'all replace the roof in the beginning before you sold it to me? And so this is the reason why we spend a little bit more money, you know, on our renovations, replacing a lot of stuff because we're looking for kind of preventive maintenance, and that's the reason why we replace it. Go ahead.
So what if, to my understanding, you're not supposed to replace a roof more than twice? Is that correct?
When you say more than twice, what does that mean?
So if it's damaged, then it gets replaced. That's the second roof, correct?
Right.
Can you go if that one gets damaged?
Absolutely, you do it 20 times over. Like, why, you know what I'm saying? So like a roof, you know, let's say a 100-year-old house, you know, the roof, an average roof is supposed to last anywhere between 15 and 20 years. We have 30-year shingles. So obviously a roof can be replaced 3 years in a 100-year period. You know, so if the roof is damaged, you know, I think the question that you're asking is layers of roofs.
Right,
And so,
right,
so your question you're asking is if I were to do an overlay on a roof, how many overlays can you do? So it only can take 2 overlays. You're not supposed to put 3 overlays on there. An overlay is just really a roof that's up there, and you don't tear it off. You just put another roof on top, and then you can only do that you can only do that once. So you got the 2 roofs.
Right.
You're not supposed to go with the 3 roofs. I've seen 4 roofs on a house, unfortunately, before in the past. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about caving in.
But that's the code will bust you for that. You know, so you're not gonna get away with that too much. Sure.
And guys, just to kind of break in with that, for me, it was hard for me to read the books and kind of learn. Remember what I did. I cultivated my relationship in the beginning of my business so hard that I would just wait till the buyer would go inspect the property. And I would follow him with my
yeah.
hand and pad. I was that hungry, guys.
You're right.
And I'm asking my buyer, what are you looking at? Well, this is linoleum, Rico. We have to rip the linoleum out and put some tile in it.
Right.
I didn't get that from a book. I got that because I had built a relationship and I wasn't thinking about money. Money will destroy you if that's your main aim first.
Right.
Genuine relationship. You're going to learn everything from this guy. You just do it the right way.
Sure.
It just takes time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You got it. Yep.
Oh, I missed your introduction. I came in late. Did you begin wholesaling? Did you start?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, she missed your story.
Right. So obviously, I began wholesaling real estate. You know, like I said, I've been in the business. I think it's 13, 14 years now. And obviously, my wife is a real estate agent as well. So we both do real estate. And I did start off wholesaling. I started off flipping houses a very long time ago. Obviously, a lot of ups and downs. And the reason why, you know, you ask yourself, you know, why are you with a company then? Why did you, you know, decide to make that move? You know, obviously, you know, my limitations are very small. And I can only do so many houses. So obviously, with that being said, I'm only gonna probably do that. I can do 10, 15 houses a year flipping wise, but with my company, I'm gonna do 300 to 400. You know, so obviously it's a volume thing. Yeah, so that's what it boils down to. You know, and then obviously credibility and other things that it comes along with. But I hope that answers your question, or you know, detail kind of a light story about myself. Yeah.
I was gonna ask if you began wholesaling. Like, I'm starting out brand new into this, you know, no knowledge of real estate.
Sure.
What tips do you have? You for somebody that's brand new into this, like, you know, anything about real estate?
Sure. No, that's good. No, it's good. It's good. My tips to you, obviously, I kind of talked about this in the beginning, where if you know, it takes a lot of things to get into real estate. It's either credit, money, right? Obviously, or time. So obviously, you're gonna have to put time, and we talked about a little bit about direct mailing, marketing. Obviously, you need to do the free things. You know, driving for dollars. You know, something we just started with skip tracing. We didn't start it. Obviously, this is something been around for a while. But that's something that's free. You know, well, not the skip tracing thing. That's not free. But it's free to go around and drive for dollars. It's free. Bandit signs are a low cost thing that you can do to actually generate. You know, guys talk about code enforcement, and it's kind of saturated with so many guys doing bandit signs. They work. You know, I've made money off bandit signs at the end of the day. You know, so you know, I'm not gonna knock something I made money off of. So you can do bandit signs. We talked about the direct mail, something that's very hot. You know, the podcast we listened to last week kind of mentioned. Talking about direct mail is one of the main sources of leads in the country. And so I would advise you to do those things. You know, get out there, you know, drive for dollars, build the relationships. My first deal ever wholesaling was my aunt's house. My aunt moved out the house. She didn't know what to do with it. And I had no idea what to do, but she reached out to me because I was a mortgage broker at the time. And I ended up wholesaling my first house kind of by accident, kind of fell in my lap. And so you need to build those relationships. I always tell people, you need to be telling your family and your friends what you do. If somebody's in a room and they say, man, I want to sell my house, you need to get close to that person. They looking to say, you need to be like, I can buy it. Although you might not have a dime in your pocket, because obviously guys like me can come along and I have all the resources to be able to purchase that house. And so if I got your back, obviously you can say I can buy whatever you got because I just told you could. So you need to use that, use that as your tool, and don't be afraid to say that I can buy that. How much you want for it? Hey, boom, work the numbers. Call me if you got to, but put it on the contract and make some money. And so that's what I kind of advise, but definitely it's going to take some time to do that. You need to put time into it. But you had a question, sorry.
I was just going to ask, what were some of your difficulties at the beginning of your wholesaling?
Of wholesaling? Obviously, the difficulties are trying to get leads. That's the thing, and so I guess trying to generate leads, trying to know what to do with those leads. Because like I just mentioned, in our business, we get a lead in and it can go either way. I mean, it can go where we can do a traditional flip, we can turnkey it, we can list it and make MLS commission, or we can wholesale it. We wholesale real estate as well. And so understanding that was probably my struggle in the beginning. If I get a deal, not knowing if it is a deal, and then just struggling to get enough leads to even generate a deal. I mean, you're not gonna you can't generate 5 leads and expect to get a deal. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a bunch of them. I can't think of what the actual number is, but I want to say it's somewhere around 40 to 1. Every 40 leads generates a deal. And I think where it's better in the country, it's somewhere between 18 and 20 leads that generates 1 deal. And so you're not going to be able to, 5 leads is not going to be enough. So my struggle in the beginning was having the resources and some of the money or the knowledge, because I learned in hard knocks in the beginning. But like I said, I got the opportunity to get with one of the largest turnkey companies in the city, and obviously I got a lot of experience doing that.
I can say I'm the one who generate the leads for him. I take every day on the average people, like I'm averaging talking to 170 200 people per week. And out of every 40 calls I do in a day, he probably get 2 interviews to actually go out to the house. It's probably maybe I'll set him up for interviews for him to just phone conversations. He'll probably get like 4 or 5 of them. But we really, of course, we want to get out to your house to see, because once we come out to your house, if we're coming to your house, that means we find interest, and you want us to find interest, not a phone call. But I mean, on an average day, I spend a good 6 hours of my 8 hours on the phone, calling people, talking to them. How many bedrooms? How many baths in the house? This and that. Just trying to sit there and say, because if you can get to me to say, Okay, let's set him up for an appointment to come see your house. That's big. Because at first I used to just set him up and send him everywhere. Now
She
it's just
did.
kind of like,
She did.
I did. I sent him everywhere. And he used to be like, listen, I don't like this. We had a lot of conversations. But now it's to the point where I can actually, like, you know, just from looking at the notes that you told me, I know how to look in. Google is amazing because you can see the neighborhoods that they're
They
in.
use that.
Oh, yeah.
You
Use
can
that.
use that. I'm not sure if y'all have a realtor that y'all can deal with. They got this Mar data sheet that tells you so much. It's a lot of things that we do just to say, yeah, we're gonna give you an appointment. It's a lot. Like Mar data, what's the comps in the area? Because if the comps in the area are ridiculous, we're not gonna pay the ridiculous price for it. So it makes no sense for us to even set an appointment because we already know it ain't gonna go.
That's correct.
Because even if he say yes, I might say yes, he might say yes, but then we get to Mr. Reedy.
Right,
And Mr.
to our owner.
Reedy, the owner, he is real quick. Nope. Next, what you got next? It's cut and dry.
So we got to understand, and even in my business, we got to understand what our owners are looking for, what our buyers are looking. Because if you look at it, and in a sense, you know, I take stuff to him to purchase, and I got to know what he's looking for, and you got to understand what we're looking for, so that we can just kind of push it up the chain to him. And so, kind of that's why I was mentioning in the beginning. If you can see it through my eyes of what I'm looking for, and I'm obviously in his eyes trying to understand every single day, you know, what he wants, what he's looking for. So this is gonna, you know, be able to help you guys more. Any other questions in the room? Anybody else has any?
Now, before he leaves, y'all, I guess.
Because I know I got
Now, before
you got an appointment.
Yeah, I got
before
focus
both
and
of you
stuff.
guys leave,
Right.
I always capitalize my major group class picture. I want all of us to come out and take a picture with everybody.
And Tiffany, yeah.
Come on.
Hey, I'm sorry.
About the buying criteria.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so we talked about the buying criteria. We talked, man. We talked.
Cause you sent me on the other side of the world.
What's skip trace?
Skip. Oh man, that's a great question, Tiffany.
want me
Why
to tell
take
you?
take it away?
It is like a detective thing. Skip tracing gives me your address, your phone number, your relatives' addresses and phone numbers.
Rico, you can take this off. This is you.